Raff production.
Do you think the Earth is round or flat?
Round.
Round?
Yeah.
It's obvious, right? No question?
No question at all.
Okay, so how can you prove that to me right now?
I can't right now. I don't know how I'd prove it to you right now. Do you want me to pull out my phone and show you stuff on the internet? Because that's what I can do. 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 That's what I can do.
Like, just give me like some facts or like some statements that like proves that the Earth is round. Like without showing me an image of the Earth. Can you do that?
Off the top of my head, no.
I cannot prove that. I just went to school and they say that to me and suppose that's real.
We've been told that our whole lives, so I can't prove anything.
Look at a tall ship sailing out over the water. Eventually you'll start to lose sight of the bottom of the ship until the point where all you can see is the very top of the mast because of the curvature of the Earth. The curvature of the Earth. The curvature of the Earth.
You show them how the math works for the curvature of the Earth. Curvature of the Earth. Curvature of the Earth. Curvature of the Earth. How you're not going to be able to see something once it's past a particular point on the horizon via the curvature. Curvature.
You can just tell by looking if you can see the distance. There is natural curvature to the Earth.
The lensing effect essentially acts like a funhouse mirror, stretching the top of the image and compressing the bottom of the image over time.
Watch as ships sail away. They don't disappear all at once. No, first, the bottom will disappear.
Here, as our ship passes behind a channel marker, we can make several observations. The channel marker has its own mirror line very, very close to our wavefront. By contrast, the mirror line for the ship is much higher, seeing as it is much further away. Another indicator is how much smaller the ship has appeared to become. As I take this moment to zoom out and observe the overall structure, keep in mind that now the ship appears to be shorter than the channel marker, and yet 1/3 of it appears to be mast, and 2/3 of it appears to be boat.
Based on my research for the past 10 months, our world is very different from the model that we are being taught by the authority on the matter. It took me a while to come to terms with this, and it took even longer to gain the courage to talk about it. It can be pretty embarrassing to go against popular opinion, but this is real. It's not a psyop, it's not a distraction, and it's not a bandwagon. It's a reasonable debate. It's thousands of people taking what we've been told and comparing it to what we see and experience, only to find out that they do not match up. Once you start digging into this, it becomes clear that there is no evidence for the speculated spinning ball that we supposedly live on, and everything points to a flat Earth. The flat Earth is much more than just reasonable. The one and only reason that it's reasonable to argue against the flat Earth is that we've all been taught otherwise our whole lives. We blindly believe something that A, has never been proven, and B, is pretty much fucking impossible. Thanks to people like Eric Dubay, the flat Earth has re-emerged and it has more steam than ever. Before I've ever even entertained the flat Earth, I knew not to trust the space programs of the world. Close examinations of NASA and other space programs reveal that things aren't what they seem and that we, the people, are being lied to. We have no real pictures of the Earth, and no matter how hard we try, we just can't find the curvature. Not only that, but flight paths make more sense on a flat map, and large bodies of water not being able to curve into a giant ball completely resonates.
Forensically speaking, the globe model is so very unlikely that any good detective wouldn't believe a fucking word the globe says.
And they just start making stuff up. Yeah. Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows? Neil Armstrong? You mean the first man to walk on the moon? Talk about a fish story. Yeah. Man, and they're buying it. And they're buying it. And they're buying it. Talk about a fish story. And they're buying it. And they're buying it. Talk about a fish story. Oh, yeah. And they're buying it.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. Imagine what you know.
The same man who said that he wanted a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. This was the same person who was found guilty of antitrust violations around the turn of the 20th century, who then went on to get his fingers in all of the education systems, of course with the promise of, I'll give you money, I'll make sure that your school has everything that it needs as long as you push these textbooks, as long as you push these narratives and you push these ideas. I'm going to give you a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. And that's exactly what we've become.
Now this should tell you something why we can't talk about literally the thing that we're standing on. Why is that?
Knowing that there is a creator, absolutely. That is one of the main reasons to hide this. But, you know, at the same time, it's nowhere near comparison when 1 billion people find out that there's more land.
It's about hidden land. I think there's possible there could be hidden land in here somewhere with us. And I think that the Antarctica Treaty is very, very, very sinister, and there must be something else going on.
They went really tough with their implementation of the Antarctic Treaty and everything else, and just to keep people away from the truth. They didn't want people to know about more land.
Haven't we been fighting over land forever? Isn't that what always happens? Countries fighting over land, but not on the outskirts of Antarctica. Oh, no. No fighting there. They're all in agreement. You can't go there. You can't explore any of it.
That treaty was in effect in 1959. It can't even be questioned until the year 2041. The longest lasting treaty that all of the world signed on to at the same time and is still in place. Antarctica is the container of our world oceans. What is beyond Antarctica? Why is the government hiding Antarctica from us? Why is Antarctica completely off limits except for taking a tour of a little peninsula off of South America, which is nothing? And people go, well, you can go to Antarctica.
We had added nearly 500,000 square miles to the Pacific Ocean. And here is our journey's end. At length we sighted that great natural phenomenon, the ice barrier. As we started alongside the barrier with our ships, suddenly the edge...
Dangerous, that's all. You've got to know your limitations, Truman.
Antarctica is a 360-degree ice barrier that holds the water in. These ice walls are real, and they stand 150 feet above the surface of the water. Then you need to understand that there is no independent access to Antarctica. Average people can only go there on a guided tour. It has no towns, no cities, and no permanent residences. What's past the 150-foot ice wall is anyone's guess. How far the ice extends, how it terminates, and what exists beyond it.
There it is. Since you were a kid, you've seen this image. But you've never seen it from that point of view. You've never seen that with your eyes from that scale of a model, that point of view, from outside of the planet's surface.
Volume, V, and over here is going to be vacuum, V equal volume, and we're going to remove the battery. You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available. The gas is going to fill the available volume.
To show the impossibility of the consensus scientific belief, we again pull down our divider just an inch, and what do you think will happen? Well, of course, the high-pressure gas will exit the chamber into the adjacent vacuum and be gone forever. There's the Earth, and on it we have gas pressure. But there's no container. It is simply pressing down. No container, no gas pressure. No barrier, no gas pressure.
Vehicles armed. 3, 2, 1, fire. Missile away. +5.
And so they send these rockets up, but they don't really go anywhere.
Yeah, if you watch the trajectory, it's never straight. It's never straight. It's never straight. Where are you going?
Sorry to tell you. The only thing that's been to space is your imagination. There is no such thing as space.
Where are you going? I'm not saying that what you're looking up in the sky isn't there. It's there. But what they're telling us it is not real.
It's not real.
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that. 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 It's as simple as that.
Polaris has never moved in all of recorded history. Point your camera up at Polaris and do a time lapse and watch God's perfect timepiece spin above you.
And we move 5,694,000,000 miles through space every year. Congratulations to you if you believe that. It's called education, indoctrination, and dumbing down.
If you look back in history, you got Universal, their company. They started off with a logo with a globe in it, but it wasn't until like the 1920s that they actually had the motion one where it was a spinning globe. And they actually had an airplane in the early ones, like leaving a chemtrail that said Universal, which is kind of funny. Nobody has been high enough to even see what it looked like. They were definitely trying to instill the image of a globe in people's heads because obviously early on in the movie industry, they were one of the most popular companies to make movies, so people were going to the theater and seeing this globe.
So they're showing you a globe before every single movie to program your mind. They were showing this globe before they even went up there to see what it was. I think the first man ever to go up and check is Picard going up there. I mean, that's a story we're not taught in school.
From the practical point of view, Professor Picard's experiment is of the highest possible importance.
These timelines, these dates, these are facts.
We got August Picard coming out in the 1930s in an actual publication by a science journal saying that the Earth looks like a flat disk with an upturned edge.
Besides Universal programming you, you had Walt Disney programming you with space documentaries for almost 15 years straight.
Some pretty crazy propaganda in the 1950s.
Let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does, I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curve-top radio and listened.
Talking about, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
and
exciting.
A few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
Let's set it in here and see if it floats. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to stay upright. I'll just let it tip over. There it is. It's floating. Look at that. The iron anvil floats because mercury has a density nearly twice that of iron. In fact, due to the density ratios, the iron actually floats better than wood does in water.
What we see is a local sun that is taking its local light with it. What happened to the horizon glowing across half of the world? Most sunsets are already fading through pollution, dander, chemtrails, and fog. Plus, refraction will always make the sun seem like it's going down, as well as your perspective.
It would appear to sink down in your field of view. That's perspective. The further away you get from it, the lower it will appear. It doesn't physically change its height, it just appears that way to your eyes, until eventually it will disappear behind the horizon formed by your eye's vanishing point. Your eye has an angular resolution of 0.2 degrees, and anything at that height will disappear beyond the limit of your sight. Many times we can see time-lapse footage of the sun that shows it getting smaller as it moves away from us. Now, that's not always the case, since the sun is travelling around the North Pole. The closer you are to the north, the less you'll see the size change. But from locations beyond the equator, you'll absolutely see the sun's size change. And that could never ever happen if the sun was 93 million miles away. You wouldn't see the sun change at all.
Our eyes cannot see farther than what they were designed to see. But that is no reason to keep them closed.
There's also an effect that occurs under certain conditions called atmospheric lensing, where the sheer amount of atmosphere, as well as the rain between you and the sun, acts like a lens and a prism, magnifying it greatly, which leads to another observational proof that the sun setting is an optical effect. At such times, when the sun is setting over the sea, and it seems as though it's half hidden by the horizon, then you can zoom in with a high-powered zoom camera and see that it's actually still above the horizon. It's just an optical illusion.
Pay attention to the sun rays here. This alone proves our local sun, and so do these shadows. Do you remember this? Why would Google be promoting this?
As a joke?
As a joke? No. We know why. They were panicking. Panicking because the platform they purchased 10 years ago was collapsing with truth. The powers that be would not allow that.
Is we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the Earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
So instead of deleting all of the millions of videos we have made, they simply decided to bring in their puppets to reiterate the agenda at stake.
We are already sufficiently motivated to invest the necessary resources and people in addressing this threat.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
The Earth being flat is getting out of control. Can you please help?
Can you please help?
When you stand on the shoulders of those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the Earth isn't flat.
1 + 1 is?
2.
What color is the sky?
Blue.
And the Earth is?
Round. Second is here.
This float celebrates flat Earth theory that is spreading ironically around the world
and its possible roundness.
Spinning.
Now they are talking about it. They want you to search for it, because they already changed their algorithm to be set up in their favor.
What is this trash?
None of this tells you our side of the story. These are all videos they put together, so you can watch and learn nothing. Nothing that any of us would show you.
Does it feel like you're moving? Feel that? Same thing you've always felt? Nothing? Ever? Nobody's ever felt movement. Nobody's ever seen the Earth move. Nobody's ever seen the Earth curve. Maybe you just got fooled by some Masons. Mark Twain said, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled." That's why it's so hard to convince you you've been fooled. You can't possibly believe that you and the rest of the world could have been lied to and deceived by these Masons.
Yeah, we are the center. You can tell based on these observations, everything's revolving around us.
Earth is the center of the universe, and we stand still, and the universe spins around us.
I admit mine is a religion. They do not admit theirs is a religion. They want you to think what they believe is science, and all of you should pay for their religion to be taught in this university. And that's the situation we have today, and that's unfortunate. There have always been situations where the majority taught something. I mean, in the Soviet Union 15 years ago, if you stood up and said, "Hey kids, I don't believe in communism, I think capitalism is a better system," you would be in Siberia if you survived. And here at Emory University, if you stood up in your classroom and said, "I don't believe this evolution theory is true, I think it's pretty obvious there must have been a designer to this system," you would be in intellectual Siberia. You would lose your job. It has happened to hundreds of teachers, just simply for standing up and say, "Look, I think the evidence is here, folks. There must have been a designer."
If the Earth is flat, then that means we were created by intelligent design and are not just advanced monkeys on a spinning ball going nowhere, but instead, our lives have a purpose and meaning. Humanity knowing its true origins and potential will cause an awakening, which which will destroy all the other lies we have been told. It isn't about the actual shape of the Earth that is the true matter. It's about the lie. The very fact that the psychopaths running our world would lie about the place beneath our feet shows the importance of knowing about the true shape of the Earth. The globe Earth model opened doors to many Freemasonic deceptions, such as Darwinian evolution and alien space invaders. The flat Earth truth is one of the most important truths we can know, and it will bring down the system that has enslaved us and free humanity from the greatest of all deceptions.
So I kind of came to the conclusion that what are they hiding with flat Earth? What's the point of them lying about flat Earth? Well, everybody's like, well, it's control, it's money, it's blah, blah, blah. Well, no, they're hiding you from yourself. They're hiding you from your true connection with the Creator, and they're hiding you from what you really are and your true potential by educating and brainwashing and poisoning you out of what you're supposed to be.